Members of the board, good afternoon and welcome to the presentation of the Cyber Resilience Strategy 2021 for Joshua Group International. As you have received the handout before this meeting, I want to start up with the bottom line up front. The primary goal of the Cyber Resilience Strategy is to advance business goals which are aligning with data protection laws, which in turn will enable us to expand to new countries into SADC and as well acquire ISO certification. This in turn will boost our trust, helping us to acquire new customers and speed up due diligence exercises. Furthermore, we also want to support digital transformation, assisting the business securely realizing the agility, the scalability, and the flexibility of public cloud. Members of the board, to do this, I'm asking you to approve the request of 8 million Rand in CAPEX and 5 million Rand in OPEX, which will uplift our maturity level from 1.5 to 3.5 in 3 years, which aligns with industry standards. The overall objectives of our strategy will be to achieve the following: to enable Joshua Group to do business in a digital economy, retain and build stakeholder, partner and customer trust in our group as well as our brand, uplift our cybersecurity resilience to lead our peers, and lastly, to take a risk-based approach to protect Joshua Group against cyber threats and being ready to both respond and recover. Our cybersecurity culture are one of the most critical components of our cybersecurity strategy. We can define the cybersecurity culture as the merger or products of individuals' attitudes, their behaviors, and cognition. What is important is that the majority of the security workshops and awareness trainings will only improve our security knowledge, but not necessarily behavior. Behavioral scientists have proved that in most cases, people make decisions based on their intuitions, their emotions, and the social pressure, and not necessarily based on their knowledge. Any security system layer is only as strong as its weakest component, and very often it is the behavior of the human operator that represents the weakest part. Employee behavior and attitude that does not reflect the security policy of the organization creates then security weaknesses. The overall cybersecurity culture should involve everyone within our company, including the C-suite up to our foot soldiers. Every employee is responsible for cybersecurity practices, and we will ensure that the right tools and training will be continuously given to comply with our organization's cybersecurity policies. Part of our 5-point plan will be to establish a cybersecurity champion network within the company and also to develop a brand for the cybersecurity team. Looking at the current cyber threat environment, we have identified 6 global trends. Most recently, we had the Kaseya attacks, and due to this, we have identified the 6 most important current trends, namely social engineering, ransomware, DDoS attacks, third-party vendors, cloud vulnerabilities, and of course, due to COVID-19, the remote working. We have launched in-flight defenses in order to be protected. The reason for that is that we are looking for a laser-like focus to strike a balance between what is needed in our cybersecurity program and the risks that need to be undertaken for the business to move forward. Without this balance, Joshua Group will miss opportunities, and the cyber resilience team, CISO myself, will become only an expensive distraction for the enterprise. Our in-flight defenses cover dark web monitoring, intrusion protection and detection agents through Huntress, anti-malware and antivirus through MCSoft. We have launched a cyber awareness media campaign, and we have also engaged with an insurance company for our cyber insurance. Though we have some bright spots, continued remedial work in several areas will enhance our business performance. We have engaged with PwC to conduct a cyber resilience audit to get an unbiased external parties assessment. Further, I've also conducted an internal assessment to determine our blind spots through interviewing critical stakeholders, our C-suite, line managers, and our foot soldiers in the trenches. The objective of this proposed approach is to provide an ecosystem that balances the imperative to protect the enterprise with the need to adopt innovative, risky, and new technology approaches to remain competitive. As a CISO, I envision risk and cybersecurity to be based on an ecosystem that enables trust and resilience through the following. First, a shift to risk-based decisions and making away from checkbox compliances. Secondly, supporting business outcomes rather than solely protecting infrastructure. And lastly, that the Joshua Group cybersecurity team become people-centric and accept the limits of technology. Our roadmap will enable us to move towards a distributed architectural approach, incorporating scalable, flexible, and reliable cybersecurity controls. I further suggest, ladies and gentlemen, that we deviate from the arcane best practices and move over to better practices. This will allow us cybersecurity that is adaptive at all levels of the business, and in turn will allow us to embrace opportunities that were considered too risky in the past. The roadmap is broken down in 3 phases over a timeline period starting from July 2021 up to August 23. We will kick off with the baseline, moving over to foundational, enhanced, and then the advanced levels. We have further broken down our phases also in technology, the processes, and people. Phase 1, which will be our quick wins, we'll be looking at the implementation of foundational controls, which is our cybersecurity hygiene, multi-factor authentication, and the implementation of advanced endpoint detection and response. During phase 2, on our processes, we'll be looking at our cyber crisis management, specifically tabletop exercises, pen testing, which will be outsourced, our third-party cyber risk, and then full vulnerability management. By phase 3, we want to be certified ISO 27000, as well as complete and full certification of POPIA as well as GDPR. Our strategic priorities or projects aligning with our cyber resilience initiatives will be to implement or to reach the following goals: improve detection and response capabilities, accelerate our efforts on the essential controls and capabilities while maintaining compliance trajectories, enabling the digital transformation program, and to develop a cyber resilient culture. This will allow us a shift to risk-based decision making and away from checkbox compliance, and also to support our business outcomes rather than solely protecting infrastructure. This will empower the cybersecurity team to become a facilitator and not only a defender. Through our cyber threat assessment, we have identified 5 major threats at this point in time for the company. Zero-day attacks, vulnerabilities, which includes software, firewall, network, web and database vulnerabilities, ransomware, insider threat, and third-party vendor cyber risk. You will see on the slide that our current risk range from very high up to medium, and then on the right hand side that the target risk that we wish to aim from high to low. Our strategic options are broken down in the following prioritized projects. First, to identify and to protect the critical assets, cyber governance, vulnerability management, the cyber resilience company culture, insider threat programs, and then our third-party vendor cyber risk. The success of our strategic options will be measured according to the following metrics and will be presented to you as the board. The following metrics will be used: financially, customers, operational, as well as learning and growth. On this slide, you will see a summary of our strategic initiatives, as well as the high-level description of the scope of each of these strategic initiatives. Full details can also be found in the package handed out to you in Appendix E. What is important here is that we will continually assess our existing resources in order to ensure that our investments are in an equal mix of detection and prevention solutions. The strategic initiatives will also allow us to stay abreast of trends and understand their impacts at the moment. Most important of all, ladies and gentlemen, members of the board, is that our strategic initiatives will aim to foster a cyber culture. This is a critical element as we are building towards a people-centric security strategy. Members of the board, I thank you for your time and I am now open for any questions. Thank you.